Next on HBO, a live report from Las Vegas on the sudden cancellation of tonight's expected World Championship boxing match between WBC Super Welterweight champion Terry Norris and the challenger, former welterweight champ Simon Brown. The fight is off. A live report next. You are looking at a live shot of a disappointed desert metropolis, the exterior of Caesar's Palace, where we at HBO Sports had expected to bring you tonight World Championship Boxing, the title match between WBC Super Welterweight champion Terry Norris and the challenger, former welterweight champion Simon Brown. On paper, it would have been a great fight. But as you can see, the indoor arena here at Caesars is empty now. Ticket holders having fled within the past hour after having been told of the sudden and surprise cancellation of the bout, because the challenger and former welterweight champion Simon Brown this afternoon took himself to a local hospital here in Las Vegas to be examined for various symptoms, including dizziness and chest pain. You see there the hospital, Valley Hospital Medical Center, familiar to boxers who pass in and out of Las Vegas. They often go there for routine examinations. It's also the hospital to which Brown was taken for 4 days last fall after his title loss, a 12-round unanimous decision conquest by James Buddy McGirt. At that time, Brown experienced dehydration symptoms, and as we mentioned, spent 4 days in that very hospital. What happened there today was anything but routine, and we're going to bring you up to date on it in the next 20 minutes, starting with an interview conducted within the past hour at the Valley Hospital Medical Center by our HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant with the man who's been forced now to pull out of the fight, challenger Simon Brown.
Simon, what did the doctors tell you about your condition?
Well, at this point, they said my condition is great. I tell you, if I know it was going to be like this, I would be suiting up right now to be in the ring, because, you know, that's the only reason why I'm here, because I believe that I could beat Terry Norris, and that's the only reason why I'm here. I wasn't here to be in the hospital, but it happened that I got that little dizziness, and I got worried a little bit, so I came in just probably for them to check and let me go. I didn't have no idea they was going to hold me this long or check up on me for this. So, if the fight, you know, they could reschedule it for tomorrow, because I came here for one thing, was to win that title and take it back to Washington.
Would you describe to us the events of today and when you first felt these symptoms and what you did about them?
Well, I tell you, I didn't feel the dizziness none time through the week. I have a few little chest pain in my chest at the time through the week, and then today at noon I got the dizziness with the chest pain, and I got worried a little bit, and, you know, went and told my agent James Cooks, and see, I like to just go and check it out, but I have the slightest idea they was going to do this. I thought they were just going to check me and let me go and get ready to suit up, because my bag and everything is over, and I could take you over this year, my bag, my shoes ready, my cup ready, and I was ready to go as soon as I leave here. I have the slightest idea that they was going to hold me this long and say that they'd prefer having me just wait and do 3 or 4 days later.
I understand that you were examined by a doctor earlier in the week for these chest pains, that you were examined at Georgetown University Hospital earlier in the year. Are you concerned at all that this is something that's going to repeat itself?
No, I'm not concerned about that, because, you know, boxing is pain. You get hit in your chest, you do a lot of road work, you know, you do a lot of sit-ups, so sometimes you may, you know, pull something or work too hard to cause some kind of irritation there. But no, you know, I love boxing. This is what I do best, and this is what I know that I could do. And I once was a champion, and I know that I could be a champion again. That's why I challenged to fight Terry Norris, and I did get the opportunity. And now, you know, this slight thing happened. And again, I had the slightest idea that it was going to keep me over here. I thought I would be over the stadium at this point, soon enough to go there to win my title, that I know that he's holding.
10 months ago, you were in this hospital for 3 or 4 days after your fight with Buddy McGirt. You said it was because you had been taking a lot of diuretics to lose weight. Do you think that in any way that event was connected to your problems?
No, because for this fight, and I feel great. I didn't have to starve myself. I didn't have to use anything trying to lose weight. I trained natural. I trained in shorts. I didn't use no rubber suit or nothing. My weight was fine. I stepped on the scale, 152 pounds, you know. So I tell you, everything was great. Everything was right on schedule and right on plan that I have it. I just came here just to check on, you know, the slight dizziness I had. Thought they would just check on it, may give me a pill. Someone said, okay, you know, you're fine. And I came here and they hold me up this long. I have the slightest idea this way. If I thought it was going to be like this, I'll be in the ring right now fighting. I would never come. I would have come out that fight when I was with my belt.
Back live at ringside in Caesars Palace, and we're sure you noticed that Larry referred in that interview to at least 2 earlier examinations of Brown for similar symptoms in January of this year and again earlier this week. Those details surfaced in an earlier interview with Brown's advisor and agent, James Cooks.
Well, about noon today, Simon phoned me and he let me know that he was experiencing severe chest pains and dizziness. And at that point, I thought that it might have been something like pre-fight jitters or just an apprehension, you know, for a big fight such as this. But he continued to complain, and I suggested that, Simon, you know, we have to see a doctor about this because your health is utmost of concern.
Has he experienced anything like this before?
In January or February this year, he did experience severe chest pains and shortness of breath, and he went to Georgetown University Hospital in Washington, D.C. to get the situation analyzed.
And what were their findings?
To the best of my recollection, the doctor said that he did have a heart murmur, and it was something that a man of his age should get checked out because it could possibly lead to something a bit more serious.
And he fought twice after that, and there were no further incidents?
No, that wasn't the situation. The doctor advised him on a fight-by-fight basis to make sure that he had a medical checkup, and he did have medical checkups before the 2 previous fights. Earlier this week, about Monday, he had indicated that he was experiencing some similar pains, and he went to a clinic here in Las Vegas, and the doctors ran an EKG, and they noticed that there was somewhat of a strange EKG, but he tried to explain it by saying that's something that they've seen in young black males, and that it might be okay, but to watch the situation very carefully.
All right, back live again at Caesars Palace. Once again, we remind you both of those interviews with Simon Brown and James Cooks conducted within the past 2 hours on tape by Larry Merchant. The medical examination of Simon Brown continues at this hour. And for more details, we go back now live to Valley Hospital Medical Center. Once again, HBO analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, bring us up to date on the latest details.
Jim, as we speak, a neurosurgeon is examining Simon Brown, giving him an MRI on his brain as a precautionary measure. Earlier, another doctor who took the EKG said that what Simon Brown has is not a heart abnormality, but a variation of a normality, as he put it. But James Cook said to me when he heard of this condition, his immediate thoughts were of Hank Gathers.
Is there any indication, Larry, who might have known beyond James Cooks and Simon Brown of Brown's previous examinations for these symptoms back in January or February of 1992 and again earlier this week?
I don't know if any of his managers or promoters knew of those events. I assume they would. But from their point of view, since Simon Brown had fought twice without any further incident, they didn't think it would reoccur. But of course, there could be questions still about why it wasn't reported to the local commission after he went to have his heart checked earlier this week.
Brown seemed to indicate to you that had he known the bout was going to be canceled, he might not have gone to a hospital today. Do you take that at face value?
Yeah, I think that's the natural reaction of a fighter who's prepared a long time for a big fight and also for a very big payday.
Any further observations to make at this moment, Larry?
Well, only that it appears that the people immediately around Simon Brown, Mr. Cooks and his wife Lisa, have acted very responsibly in this matter. They were the ones who insisted that Simon Brown go to a hospital to have an examination.
All right, Larry, you stay right where you are. We'll be coming back to you for final observations on this a little bit later on. We had hoped to talk now to a doctor from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, but we are told that Dr. Flip Homansky, the chief examining physician, and those of his aides who might know something about Simon Brown's condition are at the hospital and involved in the examination of Brown. So we don't have a chance to do that for you right away. Let's turn to the man immediately around Terry Norris, who appears to be The man most in line to be disappointed by this evening's events, having lost a chance to defend his championship. Here is his manager, Joe Sayadovich. Joe, your reaction to what's happened in the past few hours?
Well, first we were dumbstruck, and then, of course, being in the boxing business, and the people involved, we thought that might be a circus act. So as soon as I heard it, the first thing I did was had Terry's phone shut off, had his trainer get to his room so nobody could get to him and talk to him and stir him up in case the fight was not canceled. And we're just dumbstruck. And now I found out from the commission doctor, since it was canceled, that yes, they knew about that he had checked himself into a hospital in February, that he had had every possible test run on his heart that could be run, and it was more than likely an anxiety attack back then.
Do you have any immediate thoughts about a fighter who is in shape and ready to go and now has no fight to fight tonight? Anything you can do to get him some business in the immediate future?
Well, we're going to, of course, sit down with all the people that put those things together, the people from HBO and the people over here, the promoter, and see what we can get Terry put together. He's trained 3 hard months for this fight. This is something that takes something out of your body every time you train for one of these, and he's done that. He was ready to fight the fight. I think when I walked in his room and told him that the fight was off, it probably hit him harder than Simon Brown could ever hit him.
Does it strike you right off the bat that there ought to have been fuller disclosure of the earlier symptoms that Simon had suffered?
Oh, absolutely. My reaction to them when they asked me would we set the schedule to reschedule the fight for Simon Brown, and I told them if they can schedule it in 2 weeks, I'll do it. Otherwise, since he's already had what is apparently an anxiety attack in February, and he's might just have had another one, I'm not a doctor, but might just have had another one, I wouldn't take the chance on having Terry train all of those months to have him show up and have another one.
All right, let's turn to the man himself now and take a crack at the WBC Super Welterweight champ. Regarded by many as one of the best, if not the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terry Norris. Terry, your reaction to Simon Brown's visit to a hospital today?
Well, I'm glad he had it checked out. If he had stepped in the ring with me, in such good shape, I probably would have hurt him, really seriously hurt him. So I'm glad he got his stuff checked out, the way I'm not in this business to hurt anybody, and so I'm happy that he checked himself out.
So if he has a medical condition of any seriousness whatsoever, you are happy that he's out of hospital instead of facing you in a ring?
Definitely, because anything can happen in there, I was definitely going to put a lot of pressure on him and a lot of punishment, I've trained 3 hard months for this fight, and I'm in the best shape of my life, and I was determined to take my championship back to San Diego.
You're seldom, if ever, out of fighting shape. Would it be your instinct and desire now to try to get into a ring for a fight as quickly as possible, or to wait around until something significant can be put on the board?
Well, I want to fight. After you train 3 months, you just want to fight somebody. It doesn't make any difference who it is. But I think now what I should do is just rest my body. Training 3 months, it could have taken a fight out of me, but I think I'll go home and rest a little bit, spend a little time with my kids, and then just sit back and see what comes along.
Amid all your disappointment, I'm pretty sure that a lot of your thoughts and your heart will be with Simon Brown tonight.
Oh yeah, I hope everything turns out well for him, and I hope he's able to fight down the road.
All right, we hope to see you again soon too. Thanks very much, Terry. Let's turn now to our HBO boxing expert, George Foreman. George, you've been through a significant cancellation or two in your career. Turning first to Terry Norris, how might this affect him, having gotten himself into sensational shape for a big fight, which could have been an emotional triumph for him, and now having no chance to go into the ring?
Well, it's turned out to be almost a tragedy for his opponent. Now, he's going to be sitting around, he's going to be sorry about this for months. Terry Norris, he can't let the same thing happen to him. He's got to wash it out. A fight has taken place. He's had somewhat of a victory in his mind. Lay away, wait for the next contender, and just forget it. If not, the tragedy continues to mount up, and he's never the same anymore. I've seen it happen on many occasions. You just got to let it go. Whoever had the tragedy to occur, let him suffer the consequences. You pray that he get better, but at the same time, you go on with your career, let it be past.
Any observations you care to make about Simon Brown's future in the ring?
Well, he's got something to think about. More important than money, fame, or fortune is your good health, especially when you're raising kids. Something like this is going on. Maybe it's time that he move on to a sport that's a lot safer. Not tennis.
Well said. Simon Brown has 2 beautiful daughters to raise, and we want him to be around and in good shape to raise them. All right, let's go back now, once again live to Valley Hospital Medical Center for final observations from HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry?
Jim, in the Byzantine world of boxing, it's naturally to be suspicious of an event like this. Injuries are often used to disguise other problems in boxing as well as other sports. These problems could be personal, they could be promotional. I don't think that was the thing that happened here. Secondly, I think Joe Sajarovich's remark that Simon Brown had an anxiety attack may be a little bit unfair, because that suggests that he was fearful of Terry Norris. Simon Brown is a real warrior. He fought for the welterweight championship 9 times. There's no reason to doubt his heart at all. And finally this, however, I do think that Simon Brown has a real problem now in trying to convince everyone connected with boxing, including television, including promoters, including commissions, that he should be allowed to fight again. That the reality is going to be that he's going to probably have to take a few lesser fights to show everyone that he has the normal requirements to be a prize fighter in a high-profile event like this. Okay,
all right.
Jim?
Thanks very much, Larry. So it goes without saying that there will be more questions to be asked and answered within the next few days. Specifically, did the Nevada State Athletic Commission have any knowledge of the earlier bouts that Simon Brown seems to have had with dizziness and chest pains? And if so, did they regard them in any way as a danger to this fight? Why was the fight sanctioned? Why was Brown certified to fight if, in fact, it was known that he had suffered these symptoms in the past? All those details, we hope, will be cleared up in the next few days. In case you've joined us late, just to recap, the World Championship boxing match we had expected to bring you tonight between WBC Super Welterweight champion Terry Norris and challenger former welterweight champ Simon Brown canceled because Brown took himself to a hospital this afternoon suffering from dizziness and chest pain. Simon Brown still being examined at this hour. We look ahead to more boxing in the future. Coming up next, HBO Comedy Hour, Just Words, Larry Miller. Then stay tuned for Dream On and the Larry Sanders Show on the East Coast and Dead Again on the West Coast. And we ask you to be sure to join us Thursday night for the premiere of HBO's Inside the NFL, pro football's most informative hour, as hosts Len Dawson, Nick Buoniconti, and Chris Collinsworth provide the first analysis of each week's upcoming matchups throughout the NFL. And World Championship Boxing returns on Halloween night with a special treat for all boxing fans. A doubleheader edition that includes the WBC heavyweight title elimination bout between top contenders Razor Ruddock and Lennox Lewis, and the welterweight title fight between WBC champion Meldrick Taylor and #1 contender Crisanto España. Saturday, October 31 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific time, right here on HBO. So now for Larry Merchant and George Foreman, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long.